Welcome back to a brand new episode of Private Parts with me, Liv Bentley. This is the podcast where nothing is off limits. This week, the band is back together and I have the legendary Sophie Hermann and Fred Ferrier.
Hello! Sophie, you didn't clap yourself this time.
Well done, Sophie. You did really good by being here today.
Stop doing the voice again.
The voice is the favorite. I find myself doing your accent. Even when I was telling Nat about you, I put your accent on, and I do it really badly. But I
think
just
it's so offensive that you all think that this is my accent.
The best thing is that she does her own accent. She does it herself now.
No. Like when we did our podcast, Fred has done the voice every time. That in the end, I became the voice. Yeah. I became
she
this
looked in the mirror. Who am I?
Exactly. Sorry, hey, are you alright? Because I'm alright. Like,
Jono.
this is literally...
Where's Jono?
Stop it. Honestly, I became this incredibly, like, Fred paints me as this, like, slow person that's just constantly, like, completely off her tits.
This thing of her going around the kitchen dancing with Alexa. Going, Alexa!
Oh, yeah, Alexa's always...
Play my part, play my funny episodes, Alexa.
But now we've got...
Just me and you tonight,
Listen,
babe.
I have a new Alexa. ChatGPT is everything. Oh my God, we're like this.
What do you mean?
I just ask it everything.
Like what? Okay, what's your most often thing that you've asked ChatGPT?
Honestly.
How many followers have I got now? Am I more famous or less famous than I started? Wait, don't answer that. Just tell me the good news.
To be honest, now I ask it mostly like Instagram related because I don't want to ask the Caption King.
Captions, I know.
Caption King doesn't answer me anymore.
Fred Ferrier is notoriously known for the best captions, but what he does is he'll give you one that's sort of average, so we then use it and then comments the better one below. Which is
drive that engagement, baby.
That's so true.
That is not true.
Annoying.
No.
But your captions are phenomenal. Like
Thank you.
I did one once, and it was something like, what did you say, feeding the pony, or something niche, and I was like,
that's actually my skill. I should go work for the Sun or something like that, and just come up with caption headlines.
I think you should work for OPI, the nail polish, because they have the funniest names on the bottom. You know.
I was like, that is a random segue.
No,
I was like, this is a company you've invested in or something. So like, you need to go and work for this.
Hot tip right now. But no, honestly, because they have the funniest names sometimes.
Yeah. By the way, how's your TikTok doing? Is that, because remember you said before it gave you anxiety. Hey!
Speaking of, it has been just like me, untouched. So,
talking about your TikTok.
Yeah,
you and me both. Can't believe you're a big TikToker now.
Well, I have to be, but it's so. I always just love because Sophie's like, it gives me anxiety. It's really fast.
The word I used was epilepsy, written spelled in APP.
Yeah, which she was so pleased of. She called me. She's like, Freddie Mouse, I did a thing. What I did is I merged app and epilepsy. Epilepsy. and then we had that interview. Remember with Cole. Where at the end, you then just said, and thank you for my epilepsy. And he was like, she all right? She okay?
Are you all right? That's why I became this person now.
Yeah.
Honestly, I became your caricature.
By the way, we had a very expensive lesson of how not to do a podcast, didn't we?
Yeah, talk me through. So Fred and Sophie did a podcast. Wait,
I think we should.
Wow. But what was your podcast called?
God, this was really weird.
I came on it.
Private Pods. No, that's this one.
No, our podcast was
Friends with Benefits.
Friends with Benefits.
Friends with Benefits.
We had a beautiful, very expensive trailer.
Yeah. If you want any lessons on how not to do a podcast with a person, it's a very expensive lesson. I think we the only people that actually ended up losing money.
We did. I feel like we're the only people who had to pay for our podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
But to be honest, Mouse, this is not our fault.
No, it's not.
I'm taking zero blame for this. Are you? Of course, you're like, shame. It's me.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, it was
our fault. We were mismanaged.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Excuse
never
me.
our fault.
Sorry, who only pours for
I poured
herself?
yours right there.
Oh, you poured me.
Sophie, I'm not going to hand it and sip it for you. Pour it for you as well.
I'm an old woman now. Speaking of, I'm an old woman. Honestly, I was this close to cancelling, and I'm
today.
Yep. Somebody had to file their first council complaint.
Hello.
I know.
Exciting.
If this isn't giving 38,
You've
then
hit
I don't
that
know.
age, haven't
Now
you?
you just need some cats. You know, is there a draft in here? It's fucking cold.
I already have. I dug out the heated blanket from the Cotswolds.
Oh.
I'm that woman now. I need to get like 15 cats and wash them in the river or something. Like,
gonna be-
honestly.
Can I tell you something? This shocked me, by the way. I went over to Sophie's house yesterday and she goes, right, we're making mozzarella. What?
Making mozzarella with leftover
I
Oatly.
tried. No Oatly. Whole milk, your favorite.
I love whole
Unpasteurized.
milk. Oh, raw milk.
I know, raw. Yeah,
You're such
raw
my
dog.
fellow conspiracy theorist. I love it. Wait, so you made mozzarella?
Well,
I tried.
but we used apple cider vinegar, which you're not meant to use.
Okay,
So
okay.
it was a
that
little
was
bit niche.
a video that I saw on Instagram, but it was actually produced on the Devil's app, TikTok.
Oh, okay.
So, and some wannabe trad wife like poured some apple cider vinegar into the whole milk that she was cooking at some, I don't know how many degrees.
A wannabe
and so I was like, you
trad
know what?
wife.
Lev was hungry. I was hungry. I was like, let's make lunch.
Yeah.
Just whipping up some mozzarella.
And the
How
German milk maiden I am, we're gonna make some mozzarella.
Let's just say it was disgusting.
Well, I want to know, have you ever seen anything on TikTok and you thought, I'm going to go home and recreate this?
I do that with singing videos a lot.
Do you?
TikTok free. Honestly, it's so intense. I'm trying to do it more, but you just feel.
Do you think
feel
we're
so
that
old
bit
doing
too
it.
old? That's what I mean. I
but
struggle. I can't upload things. I have to wait until I see Ruby and I say, can you put that up for me?
And then-
Because
no,
I don't know how to do it.
But also the thing is with TikTok is that it will. So I did this video because whenever a video doesn't do well, I'm like, right, what can I do? And I had this idea of like, why don't I do a video? Because I love
Naked.
doing like Scotland. I love talking in a Scottish accent. And I was like, why don't I do a video of Lewis Capaldi singing "Someone You Loved" in Scottish?
Stop,
I was
Fred,
I
you're
guess
making me
I kinda
so
like
horny.
the way you numbed all the pain, now the day bleeds. And I properly sang it. It got like 600,000 views. Of people's going, you're fucking shite. You don't sound at all like Lewis Capaldi. Yeah, that's why he's singing in stadiums and you're in your fucking bedroom. And I was just like, it's just like, hate. You're fucking terrible. I'd fucking leave the pub. And I'm like, well, the pub would be a better place.
Like fat bastard right now. And
No,
I
wait,
think,
it's
bring
such-
me the
no, but the
baby.
trolling on
Or
TikTok's next
groundskeeper
level.
Willie. That's what I was going for. But I thought it was quite a funny video. And I said as a joke, Lewis, you're the best. And because I said, why doesn't Lewis sing in his original voice?
Yeah.
Because you like my music, and he talks like he's from Glasgow. I was like, because he doesn't sound like that, and like C-word. And I was like, oh, fucking hell. I'm just going to put my phone over there. People are so mean.
They're ruthless.
Yeah.
But they're all like teenagers.
Speaking of, do you know that the last time I was on TikTok, I saw that they are imitating us.
I know.
Did you see that?
But the thing that really winds me
We
up
got
about
her on the
this...
show as well.
Did you?
Davina Bentley.
No,
she does a
there's
whole
another
thing.
one who does everyone amazingly, apart from
like
me. I
16.
don't...
Davina's even older than us, thank God. But like, no, they're like 16 years who are like, stop spitting on my mink, but with my audio. And I'm like, excuse me, where is my slice of that cake?
Exactly.
Like, what
Sophie
about me?
going out trolling people who's making money
I
off her
deserve
voice.
compensation.
Ask them.
Royalties.
Yeah.
But no, there's a lot of them out there. But they, because I watch them though, and when they do me, I'm actually offended because I don't think I sound like that. But it's very like
but
deep.
But rather than stop spitting on my mink, y'all. I mean, excuse
Season
me.
48, Made in Chelsea. The Bentley's back. Yeah,
Sorry, that just reminds me of our car ride. That was the
one was
most iconic car ride we've
Sophie,
ever had.
We were driving to filming at 7 a.m. It was us. I was about to say the gays. I called them the gays, but I don't think I'm allowed to say that. Ollie and Gareth.
I called them the
We called them the
gays.
gays. Anyway,
I
Sophie.
called them the gays in Hello Magazine. It says Sophie Hermann endearingly calls them the gays.
Gays. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So we can say that.
It's done.
But that was hilarious. Driving to Brockett Hall.
It was driving back that was the best one because we were all.
No, I think it was
Ollie.
drunk
It was
because you
driving-
turned up fresh from an after party, still in that beautiful phase of like, yeah, you were being really funny.
True.
Yeah, because you were in that sweet spot of still very much drunk, but a
That
bit
was when I was
delirious.
still young.
Yeah, when I could still do that. You
When
know?
I was 17.
Yeah, now you're shutting down after parties because you don't get
Literally.
invited. At least invite me.
I know. To be
Okay.
honest, in Germany, we would give them like an invite, and you're like, tonight I'm gonna be loud, like, you know. I was there with a broom, like hacking down,
Exactly.
screaming down. Anyway,
Yeah.
no, this was the funniest car ride ever. It was Ollie, Liv,
It was the four
you,
of-
and me.
yeah.
That
And I lit up a cigarette, obviously at 7 a.m. with my coffee. Sophie was apoplectic because we were rolling in with her hangover. Get that fag out of the car now. And Ollie goes, what, me?
No, that's not what I said, do not talk to him like that.
That was it. That was it.
I said, you can't call him that.
Yeah, and then you said you could envision Bento driving the car like one-handed with a fun Dutch cappy and a fag in the mouth.
Yeah.
Singing "I'm the passenger."
What was the song that we were singing there?
No, you
listening
kept
to
saying
my playlist.
Eladio.
Oh,
Eladio!
yeah, that was so funny. So we had this very northern.
A lot of insiders.
Yeah, I guess there's
We need the
nothing like
backstory to
no,
this.
exactly. No one likes watching a podcast of people just with in jokes. It's
No.
just very fun. So we had this one producer on Made in Chelsea who was extremely northern, and we were working with this Spanish guy called Eladio.
I love
Por
Eladio.
supuesto, Eladio. And he has actually a little set. He's got what's the name of his company?
Epulsive.
Epulsive. You love it, my sister.
German
loves it. It's great.
engineering for your body. You get shocked until you get jacked.
It's not that kind of place. I think that's something else. Anyway, so we had this guy, and we were in like Eladio's little salon. And then we're like, where's Eladio? And he's like, Eladio! Where's bloody Eladio?
Eladio.
And we just burst out laughing. He had that proper Leeds accent, didn't he? Yeah.
I look back, when I'm with you two, it reminds me of like, I feel like we had so much fun on the show.
Yeah.
Like we did. There was a lot of just like Wigby. One of those old producers messaged me the other day saying it was still her favourite scene was Wigby.
Yeah, it was.
But we did a scene and it was me, Sophie and Fred, and I'd just spoken about why I was wearing a wig because I'd spoken about how that I had alopecia. Anyway, we were in Bentley's Oyster Bar and sitting there.
That sounds
and
like
then
a euphemism.
Fred goes, yeah, it does sound niche.
Bentley's
Fred
Oyster.
goes, what would you name it? And then you go, I know, let's call it Wigby.
Yeah.
That still to this day it makes me laugh every time I rewatch it.
Yeah,
it was hilarious.
Because also, we were genuinely cracking up laughing.
Yeah.
It was like we
No,
couldn't
we were
stop.
hyperventilating.
Yeah.
But that's why it was just so funny. And I always thought like maybe it's just for us. That's funny. But to be honest, everybody thought it was hilarious.
That was very. When
It's
you
also,
said.
I love when you tell the Jelmet story.
Oh, yeah, the Jelmet.
The Jelmet
yeah,
story with
that's
the
good.
Scottish accent.
That's
and
good,
the
right,
Jelmet
tell that
story
lad.
now.
Because I used to live in Aberdeen for a few years. Shout out. And that even I was trying to be friends to the Scots. I was like, I love Scottish people.
You
They
could
weren't
be
having any of it.
Scottish.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like ginger and everything. Anyway, so I remember going to get my hair cut at this like Scottish. I was about to call it a barber, but it wasn't, more of a shearer kind of thing. But basically a butcher. And anyway, so I went to go get my hair cut, and my dad made the mistake of leaving me and being like, "Yeah, cut his hair." He's like, "Right, sit down, sit down." Anyway, so I'm sitting on this chair, like probably like 8 years old, and he just shaves the side of my head, keeps it really long, and then basically puts his hand there, slaps a load of gel on, and then just like straightens it all forward, and then like takes his hand away softly, and the hair is just like that. It basically was like a gelmet. And he's like, "Right," my dad walks in and goes, "Ah!" Son, I'm like, just look around, I'm like, "What, Dad? Who said that? I can smoke in the rain now, it's cool." I mean, it was just awful. Yeah.
Story.
It's funny every time.
And it just lets me.
My Scottish
it's
Jelmet.
almost like a drum combo.
Exactly. It was like a drum call
it's
Donald.
quite trumpy, the
Hey, go,
Donald.
the little Donald. Go
Wear
up
that
into
to
school.
Gleneagle,
You little
lad.
bully magnet, you. Gonna go get shouted at by everyone. Yeah, it was. That
No,
was
that's
very funny.
too good.
Oh God, I can't.
What do you think your best memory of the show is? Like, when was the moment that you thought that was amazing?
To be honest, I think that we were so lucky to film during COVID. Like, I know it was quite intense, but to have that whilst the rest of the country was on lockdown.
It was quite a unique time, actually, because realistically, I don't even think now, even if like there wouldn't be COVID, we wouldn't just do that.
No.
Because we didn't do the summer series after COVID, did we?
But that was a time where I remember even then thinking this is a really special moment because the places were beautiful, especially the second place.
Oh, Wilderness.
Wilderness, yeah. That was really nice.
It was pretty
I
incredible.
loved
Our
my
scenes-
room in the first one was great.
yeah.
The Sophie
Sophie
Sophie had the lair, which was like...
No, because Sophie at the time, you were just going because you're just on Celebs Go
No, because
Dating.
Sam
and
Thompson
everyone,
was supposed to
Every
get that
night
room, and
Sophie
I
would-
was like, I don't think so.
Hey guys, we're gonna watch me tonight.
Sophie would hustle
Hello?
around the entire cast
yes, oh
every
my
night to
God.
sit in the cinema room and all watch her
That's
episode.
Yeah.
of,
true because it came
Celebs
out
Go
every
Dating.
night.
Every night she'd
Guys,
go around.
we're
Guys,
not-
it's now. It's now.
I'm
It's
about
true.
to-
It
I'm
was
about to
kind
be
of like
funny. You're gonna see me be
I was fucking hilarious, and also it was giving like me doing Clockwork Orange with you guys or something, like forcing you. Everybody now it's happening
Just
again.
looking, why they're not laughing at how funny I'm being? You're missing how funny I'm being. Look, check it out. I'm really funny.
I don't know, but it was the first time that I've been on a show like that where we were all like, in a Big Brother-esque like camera rigged situation, and I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna say? So I needed you there, and I needed you there.
I was
and
busy arguing.
But
you were
also-
busy arguing, but like in the end, like I feel like everybody got dragged into the self-indulgence of mine for a whole month.
But to be fair,
But,
you were
know,
very funny.
we
and
really
like,
got
and it
up
was
the
like,
viewers as well.
yeah, exactly. And you were just watching your followers going, look at them go up.
Oh my God, I loved
Guys,
it.
watch them go up,
I loved it so much.
But you were very funny. You were very funny.
Thank you so much. Yeah, but those were the days.
I put a post up today doing a discount for my vibrator. People think it's a joke. People go, I
The
think
one
she's
that you
joking.
filmed in my bedroom.
Yeah.
Why do they think it's a joke?
I don't know, because I'm standing there with a vibrator that looks enormous and
But the thing is, like, what people don't
What
get
you
is
need
that
is
you
that you
don't.
need to plug them hard, use them as microphones,
That's what someone
you
else commented
don't
going like, your
shove it
microphone.
in. This is not an insertable
no,
toy.
vibrator is external use
Well,
for clitoral
you've
stimulation.
got a clitoris stimulator on like a giant microphone.
Yeah.
I guess. Could you use the other end?
Yeah, you probably could, to be fair.
Anything if you're brave
But
enough,
it's
I
that
guess.
shape because it hits all the nerve endings.
Oh, trust me, I found my favorite setting,
Oh, thank you.
which I
Out of all
call
25.
the Spitfire.
Nice. So you use her product. You use
Yeah,
her merch.
She
she
go
had
around
to-
there with a charger.
yeah.
She had to bring
Yeah.
a charger because it's this teeny tiny needle thing, and I like lost
If
it.
that's not support, I mean, I don't know what
I
is.
know.
Listen, we've come to some of your gigs. We all
Yeah,
support each
exactly.
other.
We all do things we don't want to do.
went to a,
Okay.
Excuse me, Freddie Mouse. I went to a church for you
Yeah.
last year.
So yes, I think that moment was really funny. Any of the times that we filmed together
Was really funny.
Was really funny.
Even
Yeah.
our breakup.
Even, I mean, that was
I still can't
believe.
believe that you guys
Yeah,
dated.
I don't think I can believe that happened. Yeah. So, but anyway, so I think that was funny. Any of the stuff that we used to do, where they just used to like let us. Your experience of MIC is so different to mine because you put yourself through the absolute ringer.
Yeah.
Like and stuff. Like,
But did you choose not? Did you not want to, or you just didn't have that? Because I
I did
suppose.
not want to. I'm way too sensitive for that.
Do you,
I could not
do you really
handle
think
that.
that's what it is?
I could never do that. Like what you did, I honestly don't know how you did it. It's so
Really?
intense. And I feel for you. I genuinely do. Like, and that's, I think that the amount of intensity that you put yourself like, and that what you showed, I just couldn't do it,
Really?
I'm like, I don't know, I'm just not, I'm way too like sensitive for that and fragile.
No, it's so interesting you say that because actually I don't know how many people would actually admit that that's probably why they wouldn't have done it. I thought it was just a case of privacy that you wouldn't want to put out.
I never dated anyone on the show apart from.
Zanetti.
We're not naming him. Gosh, I even got a Google alert about this twat last night. I'm like, honestly, why is this gonna...
cute, but psycho.
Oh, imagine I would have done that video. Ugh. Honestly, when is this gonna haunt me forever?
Yeah.
Forever, forever.
Like we all make mistakes, and
I know.
COVID was a rough time for all of us.
Yeah.
Okay, why is this still haunting me now? It's like Tom Spaghetti has a new girlfriend. Whoa, and then I mentioned in the article why?
You knew what you were doing. at
No,
the
I
time.
did not know what I was doing.
You're like, one famous guy, one famous girl together,
know what,
more
Fred?
followers. It did work though.
What is the one thing you've done that could be your biggest regret, or that you've looked back and gone, "Fuck, I definitely should have done that."
dating you.
Yeah, rude. Well, you didn't really do anything though, actually, that outrageous.
So,
Because you never had any really big fights or anything, did you?
no, but I think on the show.
I know what mine was.
Right, we'll get to yours in a minute.
Oh, cheers. Thank you for letting me answer one question after Chatterbox here had all the airtime.
Okay, Sophie, we'll take a break now and go to Sophie
you
time.
crying?
With laughter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just happy to be with you guys again. I think that the show was, for me, was a very different experience because, and actually I felt like when they were trying to make me really dramatic, 'cause I'm not a dramatic person, I'm not an argumentative person. I try and avoid that at all costs in my actual life. So then trying to do it on the show.
You should have seen him at my sister's wedding, though.
What was that?
No, I was kidding.
Oh, okay. No, I was like, what? Did I?
You know, they made me drive a
Beetle.
electric Porsche beginning first scene on Chelsea Now, and I've never driven in London, let alone the wheel is on the other side and everything is on the other side. And I was like, oh my God, the only car before that I drove in London was yours, but not in London, through the wilderness.
Oh.
And now we were in London, me in this like Cruella de Vil coat to really, feel that character. Ollie next to me, I took a mirror with me. I had the cameraman behind us. They were just like, like, how do you call the thing that covers the tires?
steering wheel?
No,
Yeah.
the tires.
The alloys?
The
hubcaps?
The Areola.
Areola?
Areola?
No, that is
Areola.
totally different.
Areola Grande, my favorite singer.
How do you call them?
The
have no
alloys.
idea
The
what-
alloys.
Oh, okay.
Alloy, what, areola, aloe vera, whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know what
You
happened.
scratched them. Oh, no.
Yeah, but also, don't give, the first thing they make me go through is this tiny, when you pass a bridge, which, anyway, I don't want to pass bridges.
Yeah.
I've had to pass a bridge to get here.
Yeah.
Anything
I
the
only
other side
burn
of the
bridges.
river, Sophie won't
I
go
burn
near.
bridges. I can't pass them.
Yeah.
Anyway, and there's these, two polars on the side, and I just, they were literally, there was fire everywhere, spitting. It was... honestly,
just
why
drove
the
it.
first thing you give me a hurdle, a poor horse at Cheltenham? Honestly,
Yeah, so basically that on a public road in Italy with it was barely wide enough for two cars, people beeping, late, her smoking, still potentially hung. I don't know. We get there and then we get back, and meanwhile everyone's calling her, and she was like, "Shut up! I don't want to talk to anyone. We're gonna be late." We get back, and then her sister starts calling her, and the newlyweds start calling her.
Oh yeah, gosh, the newlyweds.
And obviously they just got married the night before, and then next thing is 8 missed calls. She's like, no. And I'm like, you might want to pick it up. Normally when someone calls over 10 times, it's kind of important. And she picks up and they're shouting, where the hell are you? You need to pack up we need to go, we need to leave your stuff. And she was like, no, I don't think just if it's out of sight, I won't just
if
put
you
it down.
don't
She's like,
feed things energy, they don't happen.
No,
I don't
say
need
the
this
opposite.
negativity
I'm not like
in my
that.
life.
Exactly.
Anyway, we get back to the hotel 2 hours later. We go to the room and we just see the absolutely furious newlyweds that were having to pack up Sophie's in the amount of stuff she had.
I was going to Venice Film Festival afterwards as well.
There was 10 trunks of just dresses, shoes, this, that. And they were just they walked in and it was like walking into a morgue.
Oh my God.
And they just looked at us as in this is technically our honeymoon. And we're packing up your stuff because you didn't have it, and you were just like, oh sure, so it's my fault. Oh, I bet you think this is and then we basically had to help pack, and I was trying to put the shoes together, Sophie, do these pairs
You were so good. You were my, how do you call that? In Germany we say Fels in der Brandung, the rock,
in shining-
the rock in the
Knight in shining armor, I think we
so
say here.
we basically
the
had to
rock
pack
in
up this
the
room.
crazy sea.
Okay.
Yeah, but can you imagine how pissed off the sister, her sister
I
and
would
you
be
were? They've just got married, and
livid.
instead
That
the
was
next
her
day,
decision to actually say yes. She should have said no.
Yeah.
That's the power of no. So
it was intense.
Yeah.
So they had this full-on thing, and then the mum kept saying hey Sophie, Pizzi, Sophie.
God, that's my nickname in
Pizzi,
French.
Pizzi, and I was just I don't speak German, but I'm pretty sure they're swearing at each other.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're angry at each other right now. It was intense.
We left on a lovely note, didn't we?
Did we?
No.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that was fun. That should have been filmed. That would have been a good episode of any show.
That should have been filmed. I do think we all need our own show. I mean, we're basically, now that I got back on Made in Chelsea, and I feel like now you're back.
And now are you
Freddie
Fred, are you
Mouse.
making your return?
Yeah.
Are you actually?
I don't know. I'd like to do
Why
some singing.
don't you?
I'd like to do some
I
singing
think
on-
we've got him.
I think you should do
if
it.
It's just because I love this. When
It's
you said,
when it's fun.
When you said, okay, do you want to join this podcast and be the three of us? I was like, all day, every day, because I know it's just fun because we have a good time.
What do you think your most iconic moment is?
My most iconic.
This is how Sophie's dreams go. People
This
ask her
is
anything.
actually- I love
What's
these
your most
I
iconic
love
one?
these
Thanks. I'll take this one now. Yeah.
I think it would have to be between Stop Spitting on My Mink and I Don't Speak Snake.
Explain. For anyone listening who might not understand the story, you have to explain.
People know.
Basically, so it was up.
I think they're gonna know.
Google it.
It's Sophie. Yeah, hello.
You can see my best stuff on YouTube.
I'll share the link.
Link in bio. Okay, so one was many, many moons ago when I said I don't speak snake to Sophie Hermann because Sophie was cheating. Actually, Jamie was cheating on Eloisa Agostinelli, my friend, and with Sophie Hermann. I mean, now they got married, so yeah, you know.
So wait, we kind of touched on it earlier, but I think it'd be quite interesting to talk about. I mean, how do you feel about? I mean, because your scenes were so intense, you were just like being thrown into the fire pit every single time, and like, how did you?
Well, it's weird though because
Did you learn to like it, or did you realize because it became a bit of a character?
I love to suffer.
No, but it became a bit of a thing because you were very good at it.
Yeah, I think I then adopted this sort of like, because weirdly, like you, pre-Chelsea, I wasn't confrontational. Like I never fought with friends, I never fell out with my sisters. Like I really wasn't argumentative. And then I think I sort of built a way of not being argumentative, but I think on that show you have the platform not the platform, but like if someone comes up against you, you do say pretty quickly like whether you like it or not. And I was quite... I don't know if I was as outspoken pre-Made in Chelsea, but then I sort of became more outspoken or like to the point, which I think was good. But no, in terms of those scenes, it sounds awful, but I don't really, they don't like weigh on my mind. Like I think if I look back and I really think about it, there was a lot. When I was going through relationships was hard.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, go here.
No, there's one thing that keeps me up at night.
What?
That neighbor, that goddamn neighbor.
That fucking neighbor.
Yeah.
But apart from that, honestly, the thing that sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, damn it! So it's the way of sometimes how things were edited. So there was one fight, the Stop Spitting on My Mink.
Yeah.
Me and the friend who shall not be named.
Yeah.
And there's one point where she was like, oh, you don't even speak French, Sophie. And I answered back in perfect French. And all they kept in was me saying, oui. And I was like, oh, this sometimes, like, it gnarls at me.
No, that...
And I really want to drop it.
That's a fair,
And it's just like deep in
rooted.
in
We'll have to
On
go...
the sofa to the therapist, and they didn't keep it in.
No, because I'm like, fuck's sake, I had 9 years of French in school and I was really good.
And all I've got to show for it is...
All I've got to show for it is saying oui.
Yeah.
That
But
does
see,
keep me up at night sometimes.
I think if I actually, when I first started, I watched it back, I think probably for the first year or so. And then there was a clip of me crying.
don't watch yourself back
And I
anymore.
know I don't know because I was becoming super critical of the way I looked. And I was like, it's toxic for me. And I also knew what happened at the time. I'd rather not rehash it. And I think because of the way the show is filmed, you could get upset then about what someone said, but then you can't have it out with them because it's advanced. Like it's
That's how I
do you know
feel.
what I mean? But that's why I sort of stopped
'Cause I
bothering.
blocked her.
But mine was much more about my like physical appearance. It wasn't about the actual content. Like I wouldn't really, nothing would upset me with what I said. Or I would never regretted saying anything. I mean, yeah, my behaviour probably wasn't great, but it was.
Would you beat yourself up about this?
Just just the things, the way I'd look. It was all about like why did I do my hair like that or why do I do any work? Like yeah, it was that because
I do that too the whole time, but I use it to improve myself then afterwards.
Yeah.
You know? Because like at one point, I think I got filler blindness.
No. I spoke about this the other week with Ruby. I saw a clip, and it's always the Instagram clips where there's been a bit of dodgy like Botox, or when your Botox suddenly hits and your face just looks extraordinary.
Yeah.
And then you're sort of like frozen and not. But no.
Now, like your scenes, are you still that persona?
No, I think it's a lot more chill. No, it's not. Because also I'm not, I think now I'm at the point I'm in a relationship with someone who's not on the show, has nothing to do with it. It was hard, being in a relationship on the show the show is a very different thing when you're in that position.
Gosh,
I think
bet.
I had two massive relationships, like, you know, Digby and Tristan were like together. It was about 5 years of my career on Chelsea. I was on it for 8 years. So it was a lot. And I think
true.
unfortunately,
You were so
The
honestly, I feel like because you know, sometimes you come across as quite wise, and I think you're very grown up for your age. Maybe that was the show, not physically. Don't worry.
Yeah, I was young when I started. I was 20. So how old were you?
20.
Were you 20 as well?
Yeah.
Because I remember this. I used to live on the Gloucester Road when I was going to school and you used to run past, and everyone, I'd be with like
You
my dad and
ran.
someone else.
Yeah, I
They'd go,
used to
"Oh my
run.
god, it's the guy from Made in Chelsea."
Yeah. Did you shout that?
I shouted, "It's Fred! Can I get some?" Was it with? Oh no, it wasn't. It was when I first introduced my parents to Digby, and I said to my mum, I said, "Oh, this is Digby." And my mum goes, "Is it Digby or Big D?" And I said, "Mum," I was like, "You can't say that." It was awful, and I sort of choked. Anyway, they fucking aired it. I was like, "Oh,
So funny.
yeah, I know."
But your parents are in South Africa now.
In Cape Town.
So this is where we're gonna go. By the way, this is my new destination for apart from the south.
For our series,
of,
yeah?
So,
for this series.
Nine.
Okay.
For me, to find a husband.
Oh.
I think because there's a lot of like German and a Dutch like heritage over there as
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
and you know how I love it, like
Yeah, yeah.
Germanic.
Yeah.
And
Germanic.
and looks wise, it's just my type. Stunning vineyards.
Yeah.
And it's just I feel like that could be me. Or I go to America and become a Mormon trad wife. What do you think? I don't really know what Mormons are,
Wait,
but they're
explain trad wife.
traditional wife. Why do you think I'm now making fake mozzarella?
Oh.
Yeah, it's a thing.
It's safe to say I'm
I
not
can
making.
see that though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Made in Chelsea's not very trad wife. Though you'd have to pack that in, and so is Instagram. You'd have to pack that in too.
Oh, honestly, I would shut it down tomorrow.
Sophie and I spoke about this the other day. I wouldn't be upset if TikTok got cancelled. Like it really.
I was really hoping it was.
I was really hoping.
It's
for
like when
it.
NFTs went down. I was like, thank
rooting.
God for that.
Is-
That's a wave I
is
didn't
this just
miss.
a sign of our age, or is it because it's just too much? Like I just don't have the thought of having to do a TikTok,
No.
putting up a YouTube short. I didn't know they fucking existed. I
I
barely do a
love to
story.
watch them. My algorithm is just aliens now. Joe Rogan, the Anunnaki, a dash of Trump, a little bit of dash of trad wife.
Yeah.
I'd love to know what your
And-
For You page is.
Yeah.
Do you want, I have to keep sort of changing it because I feel like. Do you not feel that Instagram? I've now got a block on Instagram because I think it's really bad for you.
What do you mean? As in you limit how often you're on
I've
there?
now because for me, I just basically if I get sucked into it, I just think, oh shit, I'm not doing well enough. Like I just like okay.
Oh, Freddie Mo.
I'll be
And
honest,
this
it
is
does
not, by
drive
the way,
anxiety.
this is
Come
not
on.
honestly me being like, oh, like this, that's not my character. But I genuinely, you can completely like go into this hole of like, okay, I'm not doing well. Like okay, like my songs aren't doing well. I'm like too old. Like all this
Surely
stuff.
you're too old for these insecurities now.
No, I did
you'd
not.
think so,
But I kind of
but, like,
agree with you.
in the music industry, and then also like with money, you see all these other people. You're like, shit. That's why those brothers that went down recently in Dubai, the drug dealer brothers.
The Tate twins?
No, they're these other guys, and they're basically like
Not the Winklevoss.
no, definitely not them. They're going up. So there were these two brothers, and they were basically like filming on loads of private jets, being like, whilst you're like on EasyJet, we're having breakfast in like on a private jet and all this other stuff. And I feel like there's all of these fuckwits on Instagram that are like selling courses of how to be rich. That basically just export anxiety to the masses.
Yeah.
Because
I could
you're constantly
teach that
you're
course.
constantly looking at people and they're like, oh, I'm living in Bali and this buy my course. And it drives me insane.
Yeah, I'm with you
because
there.
what the actual damage is not just scamming people of how to get rich and they make money, they'll make $100 and they'll spend 99 looking rich.
Yeah.
So they can scam people.
You
And
know
then-
that they have fake private jets on the ground for influencers to film
I'm
in?
sure, but anyway. So
But
these guys
what
then
is
ended up
life
getting
honestly
arrested.
coming to that people are filming in a jet,
Honestly.
paying to film in a jet for half an hour that doesn't even take off? Like
I want to
but-
say something brutal, but I can't. But like,
That's a
if
great
that, if,
segue for podcasts. That's perfect. I gotta say something, but I can't. Thanks.
no, because you know how
so-
bad it is. But if you're there, basically, it's the beginning of the end.
Okay, but anyway, so to finish that, so then they ended up getting arrested for being drug dealers. But like, if you think about the amount of people that then they're on Instagram thinking, "Shit, I don't have that, and I don't
Yeah.
have that," and that's what I mean. So now I've got a block on Instagram where I don't really use it because it's really good for my music career to like interact with fans and create a following. But as soon as you start like
using it for
doom
something
scrolling-
else, and it's it's the worst. You get into a pit of it. Like I've honestly sat there scrolling, but it's the same across everything, not just career stuff. But it's like people in these relationships
That's
that it's
exactly-
rubbish. Like looking so happy, and it's like, oh, hang on, you see these romantic things of people running on the beach and proposals and shit. In real life, it doesn't fucking happen that way.
true.
And
I
I
fell
think it
into
gives people
this
this false
rabbit hole.
representation of what they think firstly relationships should look like.
Yeah.
When it's all fucking fake and it's filmed. But it's not. I think it's more. I think we would recognise it because we're that bit older. But I think for younger people, it's more damaging because.
Can you imagine if that was born into
no,
this?
No,
Unbelievable.
It puts me off wanting kids. Like I really have questioned wanting children not because I just think the shit that they will see age like
I would
10 and
homeschool them.
above.
Yeah,
I
trad
know,
wife.
Trad wife.
Have you heard of this concept of body inflation?
No.
That's quite an interesting one. In other words, if the body standards of like how it's progressed over the years of now like what's a good body compared to
and what's
10
beautiful.
years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, like beautiful women back
But
in like
it's
the
not
60s
no one's
now.
like Audrey Hepburn. You don't get I think our unrealistic ideas of beauty is completely fucked. Like it's so, and people morph into each other. Like I look at like young girls who get work done from a fucking young age. Like if I went home age 18 and said I'm having lip filler, my parents would have been apoplectic. There's no way. Like it took me honestly until like 2 years ago to tell my mum that I had Botox, and I only started it a bit later. But now the younger lot, it's like it's next level.
And then steroids now is like a huge one, like really young kids using steroids.
But kids shouldn't work out until they're like into their 20s.
Now it's really common.
That's probably also why like baby rates are down with all the steroids. I mean, fertility.
Well, yeah, no, but apparently actually what it is the fertility thing is people just genuinely aren't having sex enough. And we look into it all the time because the Joma...
Is that because nobody drinks anymore?
No,
one
I think
smokes
what it is,
anymore?
I
Like,
honestly
what do
think
you do?
life's
It's
fucking
so
hard. People
boring.
spend their day working to the point they get home and they're exhausted because the only thing at the moment everyone wants is money, which is fucking hard. Living in London alone is extortionate.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how... I mean, when my dad used to always say to me, when I was your age, I had a flat in Chelsea. Try buying a fucking flat in
That's
Chelsea
not
now. You're
possible.
lucky. You're lucky if you can rent.
But you know
like-
what? That's not possible anymore.
no, but
Did
it's
you know
not.
that BlackRock just... Hello.
Here come YouTube Shorts.
Did you know that BlackRock just acquired over
1,000
30,000
UK homes?
And so did Lloyds Bank. Like, this is like the new... Like, if you want to buy a house, it has to be now.
Yeah.
Sell your soul. And,
But I'm not being
and
funny. In
that's
all
it.
seriousness, there's no
it's
way I could
insane.
afford to buy a house now. Like, I
No,
just couldn't.
Forget it, me neither. I would have to sell my shoes. And that's it.
Or
And
myself.
honestly, my feet, by the way. And I am one step away
From Feet Finder.
from
I'm
doing-
not
Nice pun.
No. There's already a page called WikiFeet.
Yeah.
Okay. This exists since I think like a decade, where they just steal
People have put
your
me up-
pictures.
people have put pictures of my feet
I'm
on.
a 5 out of 5, obviously.
My rating's
But
slightly lower than
that's
that,
not
but-
going to help you because now I actually, just out of curiosity,
Obviously.
I signed up to Fun with Feet, and I haven't finished my profile completely. But the options it gives you is like six toes, 8 toes, 12 toes. It's insane. So I think the uglier, actually, the better. So I'm already.
You're fucked.
Yeah, I'm like, who likes a Bavarian princess feet with a high arch? Like, no one. And it's just.
You just want elephant feet, god damn it.
It's
Sunken arch.
12.
12 toes.
It's just crazy. But this is like where we are at now. And
Honestly,
I mean, imagine I can finally
have
buy my
considered
first
it.
house, and my dad is like, why?
Times are tough.
Times are tough.
And the other thing, whilst we're on this real rant, the other thing that ruins it is like,
Social media.
yeah, no, we've done that, but
No, I meant-
we're elaborating. Is that there's a lifestyle, because obviously Instagram only highlights the 0.000 because that's just how things work. It's the shocking things. And the amount of like places like Miami and even London, there'll be like guys that will just bankroll girls. Like
But-
20, 30, 50K.
Which guys and
Yeah.
where
Well,
are they?
Who are these guys?
Honestly,
And because I want to stay away from them, you know, and make sure that I'm safe.
But this is what I don't
They on
understand.
Instagram or they
okay,
like
in all seriousness, and I think about this all the time, would you actually enjoy that life? If a guy, like, but no, I know, because it's out,
Is that a question?
I actually don't think I would. I know it's like, it would be nice for someone to give you loads of money, but I actually enjoy work.
I know, don't worry. Okay.
I think she's losing it.
It'll be all right.
I know you probably would, but would you not?
No, listen.
Okay, how much would you have to climb into bed with some old pervert?
No,
for?
that for me again, that's a no because my ick and my gag reflex is so intense. I can't do it. I've tried many times, but I can't do it. And I'm missing this gold digger gene. Otherwise, I would be on my 3rd marriage right now, right?
Yeah. In Palm Beach, second daiquiri at 9 a.m. You know.
That's a daiquiri. Anyway, but you know, unfortunately, I don't. I admire these girls so much, but I can't do it. And in the end, I'm always like, end up bankrolling like some poor slob. That's just like we talked about this the other day.
Sophie's slightly
Benjo,
worried.
Can we talk about
Let's
our
ask
last
him,
scene?
is Sophie going to get cancelled for this? She said the problem is poor blokes are way better in bed.
It's true. It's true. They have to try so much harder. It's true though. And
Did you say that
He
on?
has said this on Made in
Did you
Chelsea.
say that on Made in Chelsea?
yeah, because Liv,
That's staying.
That's the opener.
and they were like, "Oh, this is gonna be the." I'm like, "No,
Yeah.
this will be the headline." I'm like, "Oh, shiz, I'm gonna be cancelled this time." But to be honest, I am just speaking out of experience, and I don't discriminate. I have had them all, and you know, rich, poor, old, young.
Tinker, tailor, soldier, spy.
Yeah, literally. But out of experience now, and I had a lot, it's just like, yeah, poor guys have to try so much harder. And that's why, and they're most of the time more beautiful. And the other
So then
ones...
why? But you've had that. So then what then turns you off it?
The fact they're poor.
The fact they're poor and we can't do anything
Well, that sounds
together.
like a cycle and a half.
I know, and I can't get out of it.
Because I remember,
No, because obviously this comes with so many
serious
problems.
issues going
No,
on.
it comes with so many problems because they don't feel demasculated,
yeah.
emasculated, whatever. They
Yeah,
feel
yeah, yeah.
feminine, and then they start getting insecure. I can't do what I want. We can't go on holidays together. We can't even live in the same fucking flat together. There's so many issues that come with that.
Yeah.
You know?
To live up with your
how's Raya
lifestyle.
going, by the way? I saw you.
Fucking shit. I hate it. I know you love dating apps. I despise them. I was on one
They're
app.
not good.
I
I
was
don't
on one
think they're
app
good,
now
actually.
called The League because men don't have to have Instagram to be on there. And you know how much I love a man without the gram.
talent. Yeah.
And they have to pay a substantial amount. So I was
Oh
like,
shit!
okay.
So there's like a barrier to entry.
Yeah.
You're like,
And I was obviously invited to the launch of it and blah, and that's why I
Obviously.
was even on it because normally I
At
wouldn't.
last?
No, because at last I would never be. You know, like unless times are as dire as they are now, I wouldn't be on a dating app. And then I went on it, and I went on my first dating app date. Let's just say it was the first and last, and the app is called The League. Let's just say I was out of his league. It was like a job
the
interview.
wrong league.
No, you know what he asked me, Mouse?
The relegation. What?
No, he's like, would you like to have 1 or 2 glasses of wine? I'm like, sorry, get the bottle. Why are you asking me that? Ew. So, okay, that was already ick and kind of over for me. And then he ordered 1 starter and 1 main for the both of us. I had to go home and make myself a ham and cheese toastie.
Make yourself some
I
mozzarella.
was so hungry. I almost ate, like, I finished the whole
Alexa,
bread
it's
basket.
you and me again.
Alexa,
Replay my
oh.
highlight reels on
This
YouTube.
wasn't I mean, honestly, and then he's like, "Oh, so when do we do it again?" Never. Right? The man has to pay a substantial amount for the app. It's like
He
maybe
blew all his money on the
he
fees.
blew all the money on the app fees. He couldn't even afford dinner for both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took a break because I think mentally I really needed one. But we spoke at this. Loads of articles came about this. I didn't leave because my drinking was bad. I noticed I was drinking more than I wanted to be drinking. And I think at the time it's because I was so caught between should I stay, should I go? And it's a really hard thing to do. And I think at the same time, my business was doing well. But I couldn't give it all to Jomo while doing the show because it is time consuming. And so I left on those sorts of terms. And I think also my mental health was just a bit fucked.
Yeah.
For anyone listening, Fred, you are teetotal.
Yeah, I've been sober for, you imagine, 7 years in December.
But hang on, when we...
you know what happens in the seventh year, in the seventh year. God, I sounded German.
That's why.
No, I just sounded so German. I hate
It's fine, said it.
But
What
you know,
happens in the 7 years?
well, the 7th year of marriage is normally like
Oh.
the one where it's a make or break.
Oh,
So this
really?
is your year. Let's
Interesting.
test him.
Yeah, exactly.
Down.
Do you think
Down.
can you see yourself? Do you think you'll never drink again, or is it one of those things that you just...
I honestly do not crave it, do not miss it in the slightest.
Really?
Like when I decided to stop, so I gave up for a year because I think like a lot of people on TV, I would always do these like sober breaks.
See, that's what I got into
And
doing.
you do this and someone told me
It's
this
called a
analogy,
detox.
which I'll tell you, which changed my life and made me stop drinking. So
What?
basically I would do like a month off, then I'd do 3 months off, and then I'd do because I have zero interest in a casual glass of wine or a casual beer. I just want to send it. Like if I drink,
weirdly,
I'm completely
I'm
binary.
the opposite now. I want a casual drink. I don't want a sesh.
That's really important to realize that.
I used to want to
If you're one of those drinkers,
amazing, congratulations. Like, you know, my parents, they like collecting wine. They liked, this is biscuity. And I have, it's alcohol.
Well,
Like,
you
I just
don't
wanna
know that because now you've been 7 years off it. So maybe now you could be like.
It doesn't work like that. Yeah, what is that?
Speaking of beer, don't make him real up.
Let him talk. Fucking hell. Meanwhile, I'll fucking...
I actually am more offended about the accent you do for me, this old husky
I don't know where
EastEnders
that comes
person.
from. Shut it.
Sorry. You're the like, I
don't
like
know.
right? Like, it's
And it always
terrible.
Bento.
So basically, I have zero interest, and I think it's just from, I don't know, maybe it's like I'm half Icelandic, maybe it's whatever. The Viking comes in me and I just want to sesh. Cheers to that.
Yeah, sorry.
Just the sobriety.
Yeah, exactly.
You're doing
Cheers to
so well.
sobriety. But yeah, for me, it just doesn't, like, it doesn't work like that. So if I drink, I just want to go.
Yeah.
And then if
remember that.
if that is your, like, characteristic, I think it's really important to realize. But this is, because now I talk about it, and for anyone listening, I want to say basically, it's like alcohol might not be the issue. You just have to understand what kind of drinker you are.
See, this is what I'm...
Maybe you're the type of person that can enjoy a glass of wine and don't have that thing. But I am not that type of person, and I identified that. And the moment I really understood that, because someone told me this analogy of a candle, which is basically like when you start drinking, you light the candle at the top when you're like, whatever, 18. It's all fun and games, it's, you know. And then it burns down, then it's like fun with problems, and it gets worse, and then it's just problems. But every single time you stop drinking, be it 1 month, 3 months, whatever, when you start drinking again, you light the candle at the same place.
Not from the beginning.
Not from the beginning.
That's interesting.
And so my drinking, I noticed, was getting like progressively worse. So that's for me.
Every time you stop and then start again, yeah.
So I identified that, and then I did a year off, and my life just got so good.
Just out of
got really
curiosity,
happy.
do you know why it was that you were drinking like that?
No, and that's the thing. Everyone says like, "Oh, who hurt you? What's this, that?" It's not about that. And for me, it's not like
I always
was
said
also,
it's because you're Icelandic.
Yeah, and Icelanders have like one of the highest, like, you know, I mean, everyone.
They're
knows.
Vikings. They used to drink out of skulls.
But
it's in their blood.
But maybe, yeah, but for me, it wasn't a thing, and I was never like, you know, we seshed really hard. It was just fun.
No, I remember having a goldfish bowl of gin and tonic in Covent Garden with Fred, and I remember looking at each other. I think it was like midday, and we'd had a big night beforehand.
And then I had to go for another big night. It was just intense.
It's a lot. Because my thing, when I think the reason, because I do the whole stop-start thing, but now I'm at a point where I don't have like big benders and I don't sesh or anything the way I used to. But when I stopped for 6 months, mine was because I was drinking off emotion, and I knew if I'd say I really need a drink to get through this, or like if it was a stressful scene, and it's not on Made in Chelsea, but I think I was so anxious. Firstly, I know everyone says I'll go and meditate. The only thing that can fix you quickly if you've got anxiety is a quick drink, if I'm totally honest, because it hits you pretty sharp, so you're fine. And I built that tolerance up of knowing if I could have a quick drink just to calm myself down, and then I got into this like vicious cycle of it. And I now, if I feel stressed or anxious, I know not to drink, because I also actually end up having a really bad night, or then arguing with someone if I'm drinking off that. Whereas now I like having a drink when I want to have a drink, and it's not like hell for leather.
If you're that type of person, great. But then I think if you're not, and also I would just wake up and everyone would be like, fine, and I'd be like, I feel really like anxious. Like, is everyone else out? And they're like, mate, it's cool. And this is when I like started doing the show as well. So I just felt it just hit me differently.
Yeah.
So then I was like, I don't like doing this. And for me, another big thing was I was like, I don't want to do this, but I'm doing it. So when you start realizing that you're doing something, so your intention is this, but your action is the other thing, you keep doing that enough. And then I just crossed an invisible line where I was like, I just don't want this. So after the year off, I went back and just had like a crazy month where all my behaviors came back the same. And this is not like me like fighting in the street. Everyone has a different thing. But for me, I just felt really bad. And I wasn't being the person I wanted to be. So then when I realized, okay, drinking is this and not drinking is this, it just clicked. And I haven't drank since. And I never, ever crave it. I never think, oh, that would be nice. But I don't know. The reason why I also like, because again, I never really talked about it because there was such a big wave on social media of people not drinking for like 2 months. And suddenly they're like a sober coach. And then like, and I didn't really like think,
I also,
you know,
I'm
we're
going
trying to sell something.
Totally
we're trying to
honest,
sell a sober course or something.
I find sober people quite preachy, and I think I don't know, I find it rather not unhelpful, but it's very like, It's all they talk about.
Yeah.
And then if
It
you're and
becomes
every
their
time
whole
I would see
identity.
them, they go, "You still drinking?" And I go, "Why on earth is that the first thing that we're talking about? Is whether I'm having a drink or not?"
Exactly.
And
it
honestly,
becomes-
can we just be honest? Most of these people aren't completely sober. Freddie Mouse is completely teetotal. I know this. However, there are other people that say they are teetotal. And they're not. They're all Californian sober. And most of the time, these people are on mushrooms. And then they're like, so I'm completely sober. I'm like, your pupil speaks
Can I
different
be honest with you?
volumes
I
right
think-
now. Like, it looks like a record. Like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
So I think, and then they become very preachy and very, it's just giving midlife. And everyone's running a marathon. I'm like, get over yourself. I don't care.
Yeah.
And I
it's-
don't want to see you schwitzing topless, like doing it looks bizarre. Like
It's really
no.
the message that I want to like, and that's why I said it many times. If you have to understand the way it makes you feel.
Yeah.
And like, congratulations, it's amazing if you have a healthy relationship and it's all good, or even if you just get hungover occasionally, it's like great. I had so much fun with it, but there was just a point where I crossed where I was like, actually, this isn't like, I want to be like a, positive, like good person and do nice things and people to know that for me. And people even were like, you're starting to be like a bit heavy or like, and I
Really?
started doing things I didn't want to do. And then I was
Yeah.
like, I don't want to be that. So the reason why I'm saying this is that, if someone's listening, they're like, actually, I'm not, feeling great. If you do decide to give up, it's by no means the end, because people have this idea of like, if I stop,
It's
how
but it's
can I-
daunting.
Oh my God, it's so scary. Like, how am I going to have fun? If someone told me 10 years ago that I'd be sober, if like back, in Vienna, that trip. If you told me, by the way, Fred, in like whatever 8 years you'll be sober, I'd be like, no, like that's
Yeah.
just firstly so bum out and depressing and like absolutely not, because this is how I have fun. This is that. Whereas actually, like it is the best thing I've ever done, and it works for me, and it can work for people. And it's definitely a possibility. But 100%. Trying to preach and say like make people feel bad about their behaviors is no one has any right to do that.
No, you're just the best, Freddie Mouse. Like yesterday, I went to the Smiley Charity Film Awards, where basically like all these films from Britain get awards that were pushed by or sponsored by charities and endorsed by charities. And they and Hello Magazine, was hosting it, and they asked me who is the kindest person that you know, and I was like, well, off the top of my head, Fredrik Ferrier. I did say that. I did.
That is
And I
very
didn't lie.
sweet.
Oh, it's true. Because you are like, I said you are like an archangel that hasn't fallen.
Well, that's wow.
You also look like the archangel Michael.
Wow.
I know. Yeah.
I just think
You're
that's-
welcome.
that
Anyway,
is- that
you
is
get
ama-
dinner
thank
later.
you. That is wonderful.
Right, anything exciting coming up this
I'm
year?
gonna become a foot model. I am ready. So whoever has interest, just slide into my DM. I'm considering selling my pedicure water, like maybe
She's also
dead
selling her
skin
mozzarella.
cells, whatever you want. To be honest,
Mozzarella and feet, two things I don't want to.
I am ready. And I have no more shame. So let's
That's where
go.
you get the cultures from for the cheese. Yeah, foot mozzarella.
No. So, there's loads of exciting things coming. I mean, last year I've done, since a very long time, I picked up designing again, which was so much fun. I did a whole collection. It was called Highland Fever. You would have loved it, laddie. And
Can I wear my gel?
you should have. Actually, I should have hired you. And this year will also be a little fashion collection coming up. And lots more that I unfortunately can't talk about.
Next episode, you'll be back. And Fred?
So, well, actually, I'm going to Dubai next week for a month because I got a residency there, which I'm very excited about. So I'll be singing
that's
there
cool.
4 or 5 times a week at this like massive venue, which would be epic.
Do
I'm
we get
super
free
excited.
flights
have a
over?
Dubai residency now? How clever.
Yeah. So no, as in I'll have a residency, but what I mean by residency is like this.
Oh,
this-
you're in the
yeah.
residency of that club.
And then, I have an EP coming out. I've also got a show on the 5th, which this one's going to be 3 times bigger than the last one that you went to.
Do we get VIP seating?
Of course.
Is it a bigger church this time?
Bigger,
It's a cathedral.
It's about...
At St. Paul's.
Yeah, if only. Anyways, I'm having a gospel choir. I've got an
Wow.
orchestra. It's going to be the best.
What about me? Fever? In
That's
the
why
morning.
you're... Yeah, exactly.
We
Can
could do that again.
Thank you so much for both coming on the podcast. And for a wonderful episode, you'll be back.
Thank you. Thank you so much.